program is moving from carbon-based life to silicon-based life to a digital twin of the world that they can control, that is disconnected from spirit.
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, you're left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, tones, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We got protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no posses. Spola, worshiping pedophiles. Wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system irrigation and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher, nor am I some pastor or preacher. Was released from prison with this passion to speak of. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs, realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, tones, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? Where we should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the golem bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Nah, bro. Come on. You almost there, bro. Almost there. Survive. What's up?
I do it dance the shot down. Who am I but shot down? You young fool, I'm too fly to just slide out. Blue sky but high ground. A crown slash helmet. So my aircraft stealth fit. That be tied down and even sheet belted. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I dispelled it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked, the cards my hand, I dealt it. Felt the vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. The bus awful, some ices and velvet shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Body for real, monkey velvet. Body you not for Mars, she's a female's clip. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly zone, haters wanna crucify a real man. I still stand with the silver hand, but we're healing man. It's not Cypress Hill, I'm Tuttle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie, I don't follow, I set standards. Catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as you goofies play God. Worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper or bruh. You stagnated, well I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm data space AC, y'all. Buster stuck in the a fake, a fraud. Battle start intergalactic. My mindset, perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing the step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just pilot. Flying a jet. Hawk aviators, arrow, and it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A person paralyzed with your fast get. You grows and pearls what I transmit as a transcript, or I just spit it off the top. It's either shit or get off the clock. This shit's hot.
Wants to get his own crew. Everybody wants to get his own crew rich, and then they want the other little people never get a piece of the pie. I don't want to go for the pastor. I go for you niggas that think it's all big too. I understand this. That's why you niggas in Pakistan can't stand me. You niggas just know that I know you can't do nothing if you're broke. Listen to me, young people, and old people too. Mostly black people. I'm talking to you.
I practice wearing my...
Sure. Y'all really thought that I was done with y'all.
I gotta remind myself, like, I practice carrying my firearm, right? All the time, right? Because if something happened, most people would admit, I've seen people who go to sleep, and if they didn't have it where they can get to it, they would sleep with it. I've actually slept with my EDC because you never know the compromising position. I remember we used to do this thing when I was on the res teaching the children to change up. So, you know, change up their daily routine, move their, put the shoes in a different place, actually put their socks in the dirty clothespin. And I used to always sit there, and in doing that, I used to do the very thing to incite the brain. And so there were times when I'd be there, leg holster in the front and the back, I would find ways to be uncomfortable, even though I didn't really sleep a lot, whether it's on a hip holster, and I would learn how to sleep. Because most times I carry on the right, even though I'm ambidextrous, but I sleep on my left because, you know, sleeping on your liver is not a good thing. And your heart don't pump blood. If anything, it kind of moves it about a foot, maybe half a foot away from your, the rest of everything else is your muscles that controls the blood flow, like walking and stuff. So with me having that knowledge, I would just go ahead, and even if I was uncomfortable, I would not allow myself to stress. I have been in so many stressful situations. I find it important. So even now, I forget when live, and I don't want them to see it because they, you know, they're like little girlies, little women who think they're men or whatever they are, whatever. It doesn't matter. The agenda to make sure you disarm so they can go ahead and do a lot of more crazy stuff. I always carry it. I don't care. Sometimes in the AM, if I got to use the bathroom, whatever, I wouldn't give it, you know, I just go and use the bathroom. But then the majority of the time, I practice carrying it. It's just a good thing. And I would advise anybody who goes and buys a firearm to actually learn how to use it. Like, actually take classes for the safety. You got to remember, the good people with the gun who may have to use it but don't want to. The bad people don't care. That should pretty much tell you who you're dealing with as far as certain individuals being hired on. And the thing that's messed up is just like Klan meetings and everything else, you never really hear what's been going on behind scenes. So they can still perpetrate this fraud of existence in front of you in a costume. This is how you know who they move. And they've done it for a long time. But let's finish the music, let a few more people come in, and we're going to get into this because I'm so tired of hearing, especially women, when they start, certain women, start talking like they know everything and they don't know a damn thing. They're following somebody else. They feel some kind of way, to which I don't really care. And if they really wanted to have a conversation, they wouldn't be able to do it with me because I would just shut them down and bye, go about your world and be all nutty and crazy. All right. But anyway, let's go ahead and let a few more people come in. Appreciate y'all too. I hope you was able to hear me because I didn't want to put it on.
Fellas up. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fact: yellow, white, red, brown, black. Bow, Mau, Big Mac, but the earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. Enough with the chit chat. I see through the side ops, looking past the shy spot. Through that game, cyclops. I don't eat pork, but I will fry cops. For foes, my heart's cold as an icebox. I'm saying die ops. From the skybox, he got scope on you pilgrims. The scope with some ropes. Some of our folks are still dumb. Yeah, and blind to the fact that, bro, we gon' have this real show. Warrior spirits inside me. This where it's real from. The world's a stage, page after page, script played out. They keep us engaged, vacate or rage. This is played out. Who's of a dying society? Should have been disobeyed out. Forehead and he felt the floor. Should have been prayed out. The draft is on, course no issue. Could've loaded in tissue. Now it's control who blows the whistle to who holds the pistol. The debacle's about who owes who the fiscal. Disregarding the aboriginal issue. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bound or wet. It's a big fact. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Bow, big back. But the earth is bound or flat. We want our shit back. A fool is known by his speech. Yet if I don't speak, I suffer defeat. I'm other than we, a sucker or me. Stand on 2 feet or jump the other cheek. The wise man known by his silence. We'll see this.
My big ass feet.
And defiant. In the sirens and migrants, I'm hearing the sirens. Ring in my ear, they've got indictments. These pedophiles, squares, alignments, the assignment. Not the wisest, I'm not applying. A refinement and confinement, the requirements for this climate. Y'all push off the paperwork, or y'all can protest, but they can't escape this work. I vow to progress, don't duck, no wreck, drill music for real. My soul they don't possess, we're foolish with no deal. Ain't playing with none of them, it's personal, know what the business is. Big monsters come full circle, so vacate your premises. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bound or whack. It's a big fact, yellow, white, red, brown, black, a big pack, whether the earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bound or whack. It's a big fact, yellow, white, red, brown, black, big pack, whether the earth is round or flat. We want our shit back.
Who's the son?
Kichiwa.
You want to hear gun rap?
Shines your symbols for the conscious minds, y'all. And with that on the temple, draw. I had a vision the past night, yet a circulus round created successful reality from a virtual now. How? Stand on my square cause they usurp your power. Them St. Louis sneaky breezes that hurt you face now all up in your face, all up in your face. And I'm talking all the whole trace. So that's all kittens while y'all cross slow rich. I stay focused on walking through them tall gate gates. Draw magic shirt around me to keep me from harm. The law fat chefs, earth she will make me uncalm. Water fight air, earth turn me from that piece to a bomb. Blow the joint, just split the range, the plane, the centimeters. I've encompassed my inner demons. 190-degree angles, shiny ED angels. Thank you, and I of course am the chief triangle. If I die before I wake, well at least I'll fly in plain view. I am my circle, how I govern 4 corners. Wise as a serpent for certain amongst foreigners. Out of state, out of place in the space they storing us. Learning firsthand of what fate was forewarned of us. I recall when growing I spit flows dope, man, fly in the shell at Southampton, kept slow, stay high. Years later, he's the same degree, just gained density. Gave my synopsis, he's hostage. I prayed I could say I behave my logos. I've raised my moral ground. We have my character, stay fly, the conduct squared up. Self-esteem, the day sky, new God on what the world's been waiting for. The days not, they are there, and I don't abide by the same ethics. They feign respect, yet obtain the credit for keeping the obelisk erect, but with strange essence. But the epic of my name will reign and remain epic. Circumscribe my passions, my squares, my lift. Ask, is it worth the ride? Yeah, it's trash spit, but the beach churchified, so I bear my shit. It hurt, I cried this kid, and then it tried to eclipse me. Bounce back from it. Jungle, I run it, thus the lion conquereth over this numbness. Made a conscious shift, even in darkness, the sun lit on you. Light will have to be good. gold to glitter. I just took the poppers just for show. Go figure, you dig. Pounding you bad boy or gorilla. I'm built like a silverback with hill track, no illa max than me. Masturbate her back, originally pretty. Take
I'm gonna start, give like 20, 25 minutes.
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. I mean, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who can have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. Time gon' change, got a bounce up. The oppressor's about to get housed up. I'ma lay him out, execution's down. Too late with apologetic claim. You rap that invoke a claim by God, it's over. Doing your time to the end. I'm down silent without sin. He put me on the better with justice to win. And the rest is about to get rolled down. As a president, that's the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger, like Ericom. Back by the honorable. From the sense of the pinnacle. Who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the pitiful simple. But thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock blast and kill this. Don't think any cap skill. No, I'm ill of all citizens who have it to understand. Oh, Neil's too late when the caps get filled. Don't believe the GC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone when it got the dome. When it's on the zone, all red on my vision through sight. It's gonna be killed whenever I bite. From above, I'll be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' let them out, so gon' pass the kite. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I don't mean it in an ideal sense.
How you get down there?
Everything.
I ain't put you down there.
Gimme. Everybody back up. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business, you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump. Gimme. Push,
the outside.
Step, crush.
Inside gonna take all winter.
And it's like, nobody ever stops.
If I have the Fiat, well, I will. But all the other stuff, I can't just. I gotta get lead paint. That's just like $55 a fucking. It's like 5 gallons, $55. I gotta look at it. I need to put the lead paint on top of the prime before I finish insulating and putting up the walls. All right, man. What's going on, guys? Hey, I was just commenting about today what I'm going to be doing. Let me pull something up. I want to make sure the price is right. I'm gonna have to get to a certain point. I'm gonna have to plug this, keep the phone charged for when I start working on this thing. All right. I got to get tanks. Hold on. I want everybody to be comfortable, so let your heads get right and everything, okay? Okay, let me see how much it is. So why did I put in the okay for the fly? Okay, good. I got the fiber lock technologies, $82, but I can get the little green, which is kind of cheap. But I'm damn sure not getting the Duan lead. I looked at it last time. I was like, who in the hell is going to get was it 50 gallons or is it 10 gallons? I forget, for like $300, almost $400, y'all. It's crazy. And you know, all the federal bills, all of them use lead paint. Isn't it funny? It got y'all not using it and they use it. Anyway, for anybody that's ever worked and painted, and trust me, with aliases, I've worked at 1 or 2 painting. And I was surprised at the fact that we were using lead paint and some other crap that I had no idea about. But I'll probably go with lead defender or something like that, you know, because like I said, and people researched it, they were surprised to find out there wasn't no kids dying from eating paint chips with lead and all that crud while they're busy poisoning you. Regardless of that, I wanted to have I was going to do like a little podcast, people come on, and I'm still thinking about doing it, but I just wanted to point some things out there without going all hysterical and crazy and everything. Most of the time it's an act for me, but no more vaudeville for the drama. You know, like most of the murders in South America, you know, it's these people are born into it. Now, some ignorant black people will say, oh, that's based on Aztec and Inca. First of all, they weren't the ones doing it, all right? That is not passed down from the Aztec, the Mayan, and the Inca. Those were melanated, dark people. All right, it was not the same. And that was the enemy that was encroaching upon the land, raping women, taking gold and everything else, not knowing that the great civilizations existed. So how they call it, to soften a spot up, to butter it up, what they call it in Vietnam in the military, when you send a few troops in, all right, and watch what happens, to test this enemy's strength. I mean, in the military, they do sacrifice individuals, you know, unless they spent a handful of millions of dollars to make you some special operator or special forces, different languages and whatever, right? But I've been all down there. Even as far as, we always think Costa Rica is, no, Chile is where I was telling y'all before. I've been there a few times, but twice we went there, they were having these uprisings that happened because of these idiots here. And, you know, military overthrow or whatever. And if we would have went in, we were docked out in the ocean, and we were going there for R&R. If we would have went in, it would have been all, because, you know, when you have people that utilize words powerfully, it's a driving factor to get people to act a certain way. So after like a day, we were out there and everything was calm. We went in. The brothers didn't have a problem over in Chile. I'm serious. We was in the libraries, at the university, in the park. I'm always in the books. I'm looking at the history and I'm pointing at pictures, and they're like, yeah, still here, but mostly no more. Like the original people of Chile. And to have that right there with them conveying this, compared to the ones here born in America under the guise of ignorance education, which is a fusillade of futile, how you say defamation? See, this is what I want to bring to that world court. Defamation of character that's played out in their fake occult court system with the fake police. Yeah, I respect marshals and sheriffs, and I respect the police officers who are really willing to do a good job based upon the Constitution, not the idiots they've been hiring. But I'm not going to put everything over here because, like, you know, I'm always researching and making some messages, doing my best not to put it on these damn platforms. I actually been writing because they don't need to know everything. I don't have no secrets, and they'll find out when they need to find out. But the so-called world court, just to show how corrupt it is. Not just defamation of character, about several other things. And when you start to get into the wordism and this fake youthology of it all, because that's all new, you start realizing that you have a system that's plagued with more than problems. But regardless of like the Tulsa, Oklahoma, the newspapers that we had that, you know, who took over, because they were using their women to get our land and storefronts by lynching and murders. And y'all already know about, from Alabama all the way to Texas, and all the governments of our people who were murdered while in Congress, congregating, that's what that means, actually murdered, and they had to flee. And thank goodness there were still a lot of us who were armed and could fight back, you know, World War I and previous. And that's the reason why a lot of people didn't. And see, people don't know that. I've got newspaper articles showing you that we were the majority, even with, and it points to the fact of Anglo-African American ships coming over here, increasing their numbers every freaking day, because people still want to push this slave trade when they want to make this POW into a slave, and there's books on it. All right, and this is where they mess up. They still leave a lingering of truth. All right, now I don't need that. The stuff is there. But our people refuse to be a collective because of how the family's been destroyed. Who, when, and how? Our people were duped by betrayal all the way around on this land. The majority aren't from some place called Africa. I have no problem with it. I mean, we have expats. Well, not expats. We have these passport bros, not all of them, and they're pretty ignorant with education, but I'm not here to defame or curse them. But you have individuals like that one was over there, what's that guy's name? He's with some Kenyan woman in the bed. He called her back because I guess he wants to buy favors. He's a goofy looking turtle head dude. I don't know how he's got all the followers, but you know how the individual control platforms are, right? You know they're sick. Their time's about up. But anyway, right? This individual, he wants to curse at this woman. I guess she just wanted to lay in bed with him. Most women responsible with responsible men, we do that. The cuddling is a beautiful thing, and the whisper sweet nothings, and hold ourselves and not hold ourselves and be content with it, excuse me. Yet he's over there for sexual pleasures. He couldn't get nothing over here. He talks about him bad, but he's doing that, and then he wants to assault the woman. I don't know how he got back over here, or to Jamaica, wherever. I just know that he should have been locked up over there. Any one of these young brothers go over there, say the Philippines, Thailand, those are good women, even the working ones. And yeah, the dollar is mighty still in some places. All right. But you go over there with just wanting to drink, party, and sex all the women you can. There is something morbidly wrong. And I follow about 20 of these guys so I can study them. The ones who control the platforms will never allow them to even get the win unless I tag them, which I'm thinking about doing. All right. As y'all know, there's a generation below those born in the late 70s and 80s. They call us the X generation, even up to, I think, the early 90s. We are caught between two constructs. You have that so-called nuclear family. Families all together. Those of us who remember all the family. Big houses, 8, 10 bedrooms, and all the houses surrounding, even the guest house with an uncle or something from war. And then we got the generation after the 90s, 80s, late 80s, and we get into the 90s, but mostly late 80s. Well, like 85, 87, 89, where we get into this techno and all the other things that were pushed in the 60s and 70s, you know, Bionic Man, Godzilla, all these things are now coming to this this monumental road, fast rolling, you know what I'm saying? Like fast, like the Autobahn, fast road you can travel on super fast, you know, like the net. And the family before us, in ignorance, kind of betrayed us. They were very aware of a lot of this stuff. There were comedians and jokesters and musicians and in the music telling of this time. Even professors, black, you know, so-called professors. You look at them and you're like, well, I ain't from no Africa, but regardless of that. And they all listen. But everybody by that time, our history had almost been destroyed for the most part. If it wasn't for those who had elders who were still around, who knew a truth compared to those who were actors, paid. But if you go back to Tulsa, Oklahoma, the New York, the Gazette, the Harlem, all that stuff, you will see they'll put up 1 to 3 melanated black men as the successors, like the top, like the rewarding them, the very, you know, Epstein's and all of them, rewarding these individuals, you know, W.B. Du Bois and all these other individuals. I think James Baldwin was the only one that didn't betray us. The rest of them, pull up all AME church. You can pull them up. I have all in those periods going back to the mid 1800s, around 1840 and up. You can start at 56 if you choose to. And they betrayed all of us, even pushing for many children in their regions of life to become professors or teachers, to further the betrayal, the lie, while they were alive. So you get up like the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, and then the 60s. It had to be qualified and solidified, the education system, right? I mean, come on, think about it. Rockefeller, education system, medicine. I mean, played this role, but he wasn't by himself. And he had many of these individuals who betrayed their own people. We were betrayed. We weren't betrayed by pale skins. They were betrayed too. And if most of them wake up, they'll realize it and change. Oh, is that a splinter in my hand? Well, I get splinters in my hand like it's retarded. Jesus. I just feel something sticking out and it's all itchy like a sharp jab. Anyway, the violence was to instill a form of fear as our people's diets were slowly being, genetically, all our vegetables and fruit were being genetically modified to rob us of minerals. All this seedless crap, to which the pale skins felt pretty comfortable. Look, it's an abundance, and we get to grow it after we show them how to till this soil and grow things. And the fake natives started coming into power based on the 1920s or 40s. Because y'all know the Native American term was pretty much sacramented in the 60s or 70s. They just had to have something. So they gave them something. I'll tell you, they always make something new that's fake. A lot of you don't remember the Native American movement, which was immigrants. And their thing was to fight us at every turn. And those immigrants, though, just like here on these shores, were also nurtured in the incubators and raised as orphans to be taught a whole new world, brave new world. But our betrayal, though they used the pale skins in ignorance as a vile form of a tool or weapon, hiring them, arming them, while disarming our people, just like in the 60s with the NFA, and most of our people did not disarm. But they had to get a mentality that was a horde mentality. And how would you do that? Well, one, stripping people's identities. You use churches, medical, psychological institutions that never existed before. And on the other side, you use those who are ignorant, didn't know their true history, a different shade, and you would educate them to be against them while they teach them how to do the things that we've always done. And even with that knowledge being known, we still have the Umars and the Farrakhan, who for some reason, I guess he's so old now. Okay, yeah, we do have Native Americans, Even after Jay went and I talked to him for a minute, and a number of other individuals. Even Shaheed Bolson's starting to come around, his Irish German, he's a Muslim. More and more people are realizing it. There are thousands of Native Americans who have realized, who have dug into the crates, talked to elders, and realized it's not so much that they've been living a lie, but they have been living a lie. What do we do now? Well, most of our people are pretty docile. And they have settled with the crack crumbs in the carpet that they've got to separate from all the dirt just to get a bump. I saw that on YouTube on the documentary Crack House or whatever that crap was called. But chasing a high that they know nothing about, at one time, and it's gone. Chasing it because they forgot. Our people aren't chasing anything no more. Even though we have a plethora of people on outside who are showing you, if it wasn't for us, They say black Americans. We know we're not black, Negro, and none of that goofy stuff. Like, this is not America. The U.S. ain't got shit to do with us or this land. It's all like a Ponzi scheme and worse. The black. I told you I met in Ireland, Scotland. I'm not going to tell you everywhere I went, but I met the melanated people who are of that land, not out of Africa. And nobody wanted to hear it. Part of my story. But I sit down and hung with them and partied with them. A couple of girls, I didn't do nothing, but could want me to come back all them years ago. And it was just magnificent. But because of us, everyone's speaking up now. We are always the change, but we're not being the change on our ancestral soil because so many of that betrayal cuts teeth, you know, but so many of our people have been betrayed. That betrayal it's a heavy thing. Then you've got the frequencies, the food. When you have minerals missing, minerals are like, you know, like the superfood for your blood, your muscles, you know, where your brain fires off. And you have blockers. You know, everything they've been inventing with these scientists that, you know, I don't know why nobody's looking at the scientists, but it has always been against life. You get those who you can buy off easily. And you want those who are easily swayed. No morals. Are they too cowardly? Or they've seen the worst side and never had a good look at the good side, and they move. That's their motivation. I was watching this little punk. Like, I don't know if he was ex-Army or Marine. I'd like to get this mug in the, you know, probably studied Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They think they're bad until they really get whacked. But I'd like to meet this guy. He's got a brother handcuffed, and he can't wait to punch him in the face. This guy's so big, you got to put 2 handcuffs on him. He's trying to keep, pain compliance don't work. You hit somebody, the body reacts. Anybody studies martial arts, boxing, and all these idiots, that's why I know a lot of these cops aren't all that great. Well, I worked in the ring. I'm going to say what it is. They're not good fighters. All right? Maybe 1 or 2 out of the whole slew. And synthetic steroids and all that don't make you bad. And getting sloppy little punches and knotting somebody up when they're handcuffs, that show the pussy in them. Excuse the language. Because that's what we're dealing with. Thank goodness there are so many good cops, because otherwise I'd really be going in ham right now. Get them riled up. What are you talking about? Sundown. Yeah, a couple people talking about the sundown time. Ain't around. Well, shut your goofy ass up. Another one, but that's what they are, goofy. Woman or man, don't matter. Wouldn't take their monkey behinds in a sundown town in the first place, so just shut up. Our ancestral land, it doesn't matter. And I said you can find the history pre-sundown and learn the truth, and then they will act a little different. Well, I'll keep saying idiots, because they won't say nothing here. You dig what I'm saying? They won't say nothing here. They're feminine, I destroy them. If they're so-called masculine, I'd eat them for breakfast. All right, that out of the way. You see the betrayal still going on. What is T.D. Jakes doing right now? He mega church cat, right? Let's see what AI is going to do. He got books and everything. So he's 68 years old, I guess birthed in 57. Thomas Dexter Jakes Sr. Holy smack. An American non-denominational Christian evangelical pastor. How can you be non-denominational and yet you're evangelical? Somebody help me out with that, please. How are you going to be non-denominational, but you're, you know what I'm saying? Evangelical. Somebody break that down for me. All right, because I'd appreciate that. Seriously. You can see it in there, and I'll go ahead and look it up and pull it up. Okay? And the worst part, he was born in South Charleston, West Virginia, you know? I mean, he's a big dude. Don't get it twisted. He's like 6'3", 6'4", or something like that, you know, about 300. T.D. Jakes a big cat. All right? In November, Jakes filed a defamation suit against a man who claimed Jake sexually assaulted him. The man made the claim on a podcast and no charges were ever filed. That was December 2024. Okay? Now, Bishop T.D. Jakes, the pastor of the Potter's House in Dallas, has stepped down from his role as senior pastor. He announced that his daughter, Sarah Jakes Roberts, and her husband, ToLU'S Roberts, will be taking over as senior pastors with the transition expected to begin in July. All right, already passed. This decision follows a health scare in November 2024. Y'all remember that? What was going on? Do we say Diddy or his real name or the Diddler? I mean, look, right now, people are moving according to politics and what is truthful and what is not. The betrayal at Maxine Waters, she spoke highly for the Seminoles, the freemen. The freemen were never slaves. How many of y'all looked at the numbers of people who survived Tartary Fall and the floods, the looting and burning and destruction of many of our cities, great cities here? How many of y'all think survived that? And they always want you to see that your focus is to believe in a fake Holocaust when the real one was on this land. It was everywhere. But here? And then they had to insert people so they couldn't be blamed for the real destruction of a great civilization by the definition of whatever you want to think civilization is. And there's enough books pointing to that. The Black Civilization of America, blah, blah, blah. There's a ton. And you have all these judges who are just getting busted left and right, committing suicide, getting murdered by cops or whatever. I told you it's a cult system. And you still obviously a lot of good ones, decent ones, but that's dwindling away. It's all about money right now and people's malfeasance, what they think is correct based on what they've learned in the system of lies, the collaborators, even in ignorance. So our people, how? Well, by our own people. When? Well, roughly starting in the 1800s. By design, it started before that. When you want to look at the 17, pushing that it's the 7th century, or 8th century, excuse me. And the 18th would be the 9th century. And why? And every other question you can ask is because they have to create a new idea, a new order. They have to do away with the old order. The old order was never bad. And people are starting to see that the new order is very bad. It is destructive. It is chaos. It is death, mayhem. It is everything that they've groomed you watching fights, UFC, K1, Bare Knuckle, all the 911, Reno, blah, blah, comedy, everything to create the atmosphere to usher in something is based upon your energy. You think the church, the black church would ever take you that other than doing this here? Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Or the gang members signing and don't even know how to talk to somebody that's deaf and dumb? Or the fact that men and women today, women are setting men up, getting murdered, and men are being pushed, hijacking based on flirtation to go out and with emotional distress, take the life of another man when that man didn't even know what he did wrong. I've got a number of those stories. One day maybe I'll sit down like I did with the 1,000 lynching and read off how many times this has happened. How many people, how many women in the hoods have used trap houses to set men up where lives were taken by the worst of youth based on the system. The miseducation, as Lauren Hill, my wonderful sister, said, of the negro. And the fact that all these Christians and all these Catholics and all these rich religious people, when you go to their very vernacular religion, I'm not talking about the book and how, I'm talking about the misappropriation and misuse of it, okay? Oh, excuse me. I want to pull up I want to read it as is. I mean, y'all can always get the book, The Negro. What is his ethnological status and da da da? Is he the product, the progeny of Ham? Well, this is what the Zionists, when you know that it was created by Ariel, that book, Ariel. Look it up, okay? For those who want to get deep into that part, all right? They even have books called, before I read this, The Myth of Ham in 19th Century American Christianity. The Myth of Ham. It's $109 if you want to get the book, all right? So it's called The Myth of Ham. Let me pull it up, because I got to pull it up. Okay, this is Springer Nature link, da-da-da. The Myth of Ham, 19th Century American Christianity, Race, Heathens, and the People of God. So if you want to access that, like I stated, the book is $109, all right? For those who may want to purchase the damn book, if you want to see it, I'll pull it. Let me see if I can pull up the picture. And maybe y'all can see it right here. It's a little better as far as the shading. All right. I am not stating that all these books are real or not real. I'm saying it's important to read, to study. And the people who don't do it are always going to be the ones telling you, man, oh man, waste your time reading that book. You stay away from them because they're ignorant. Okay. Okay. Oh, also, Ham does not mean black people. Are y'all aware of that? Ham does not mean black. Are y'all, no, serious, are y'all aware of that? Because you have people out here misguiding people and telling them whole fictional stuff, and they don't know what they're doing. Like I said, the betrayal's deep. Okay? And when they tell you that Ham, the progenitor of the dark races, is in Africa, that's a lie. Because they wrote out Europe, and they wrote out all of what they call fake Europe, which is based off an Algonquin queen. No, it is. All right? And they hid that. All right? They hid that as long as they could. But it's everywhere if people know where to look. Okay? Okay. Let's see how much they changed everything. I mean, Ham is another name for Egypt, for those who don't know it. But they want you to think that pale skins were in Egypt. Why they just mess each other? We're gonna leave. I'm just saying. All right. But y'all know about the Zuzites? Like Zuzites. Do y'all know about the Zuzites? Well, there's another piece or tool to look up. All right. Now, east of the Jordan. I mean, just look it up. Okay. Go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 45. I mean, the Zondervan Bible is one of their created misinterpretations to control the masses. All right. So the name given in Psalms 105, 23, 17 and 106, 22 compares to chapter 78, verse 51. And to Egypt as a descendant of Ham, the son of Noah, okay, about 96, I think they say it might have been, as Shem means dusky, or the likeness of Ham. Now, if you're going to deal with the AI, you got to remember it's as smart as its programmer, even though it's supposedly getting all that information and utilizing it. Okay. So for those who aren't aware, let me read the Bible verse first, and then we'll go to biblical training. You gotta remember, if you could be trained to the Bible, it's a sad state. We'll go ahead and use King James Version real quick because it's pathetic. Because the AI overview is based on some Hindu goofies rewriting everything, because you know what they're doing to Christians and Muslims alike. All right, damn these flies, bro. Man, gee. They be on it, don't they? I'm gonna get that electric thing and I'm gonna tear them up, man. I'll get the right one. When I mean the right, I mean that was close to original, but manipulated as well. But they have to, because there's a reason for it. So they can go through, well, we put it in the Bible, we let you know, and you didn't, then you ain't want to listen, and da-da-da. They think they're so slick with everything they do. They're just funny. Wow, they're really changing everything, y'all. You hear these flies, bro? They are going crazy. What the hell? Shit. They're doing their best to hide it now. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. That's some weird stuff. I'm gonna turn notifications off here. It's like no notification. I don't want to go to touch. It's just like I'm reading this segment coming close. I'm gonna do this. It's stupid. You would think that the AI being told everything is a lie could decipher what's truth and lie. But it's, like I said, it's just stupid as they made it. And it manipulating everything is real funny. I'm just saying, y'all, it is. It is funny to me. Okay? No. They nasty. I pulled it up. I know it's Genesis chapter 10, verse 6 through 10, verse 20, right? But the AI check this out. Now, we've all seen it. We've all seen it in the body. This is not their fake not deja vu. What is it when we think we've seen something and all of a sudden like they try to do a Sinbad, you know what I'm saying? And we know we saw, hell, I had the video covered. And then all of a sudden it's changed and it's different. This is psyops. This is to show that your brain is not operating in full. And this is what they do. All right. So the AI, which is dumb as hell, the overview, the premise that the premise, look up what the word premise or premises. The premise, oh wow, that Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro, is incorrect and misrepresents the biblical narrative. AI dumber than a motherfucker. How old is it? Anyway, right? It misrepresents the biblical narrative. What is the biblical narrative? And the historical development of these ideas, the actual curse of Ham in the Bible found in Genesis 9:18 to 29, as I go back, right, does not mention skin color or race. Instead, placing a curse on Ham's son Canaan. Modern scholarship and a deeper understanding of the Hebrew language show that the idea of Ham being the origin of black people is a latter, racist interpretation not found in the original text. We know that the Jews, well, those individuals have been publishing the damn Bible, right? Who were the pilgrims? Levi, blah, blah, all these new identities, right? Okay. So the AI is as dumb as they can make it. I don't say that's a good or bad thing, but it is what it is. And it just makes the light skinned people feel like that's something else, but they've been thinking that it was always some white thing, and it never was. All right. So I'm going to read this. All right. We're going to read Genesis chapter 9, 18 to 27 right quick. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, remember, go for wood, grow only here in America, so-called America, that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. And these are the three sons of Noah. And of them was the whole earth overspread. And it means spread out. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine, and was drunken, and he was uncovered with his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment, and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backwards, as not to see, right, tree of knowledge, and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done unto him. He knew. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall be unto his brethren. And he said, Bless the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Well, it's obviously that Magog, let's just pull it up from the Bible so you can have it can be all inclusive. Ugly motherfucker. So, Japheth, the son of Noah, was the progenitor of several peoples, including the Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavan, Tubal, Mesha, and Tiras. According to the book of Genesis, these groups, often called the Japhethites, were seafaring people who spread to various parts of the world associated with the geographic areas of the Aegean, Greece, and Caucasus, and Anatolia. In some traditions, his descendants are linked to groups like the Turks, Chinese, and Slavs. And he is identified with the Greek Lapatos, not all Greece, the original Grecians, with the Lapitose Islands, the ancestors of the Hellenistic people, the warlike people, and who came to our lands and dwelled in our tents. Which is no more than a robe, because you're under your house, you're under the roof. I know, where's the ark? It's there. And yet, the church, Sunday school, and they had those who would minister and teach a lie. And yes, let me see if I can pull it up as it should be. You know, I have it wrote down in my notes because I knew that they would do dumb stuff like this. I was just waiting for the day, and I was like, oh, I can't wait until they do it. And sure enough, they're already rewriting the historical viewpoints of the original Muskegon language, or was it Muskegon Bible? It was in this New English, and was it Muskegon? Mosquito, whatever language. I told you we had one of the original ones, not that 1770s whatever bull crap. And I guess I think my aunt has it, and it's been buried and hidden. Big old white with gold, big old Bible with that many family trees in the back. They stopped all that. All right, there's a reason. Okay. Whenever you want to look up a certain witch cult, they want to try and tell you, like, they're teaching you. Like, we're not on the internet for theology, we're in there to research the information that has been parted out to the American society and all the world around, and show that they've always lied. You can't make this up. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Let's see if I can pull it up. I bet it's gonna be small. Jesus, I know it's gonna be small. I ain't looking at that little thing, man. Heck no. I'm trying to hurt my eyes. My eyes getting better. What the heck? I'm gonna read that crap. People on crack. Y'all know I got this on in the I didn't know it went off. My apologies. I'm not. When did it go off, man? Oh man, my apologies. Mandela effect. Oh my, I didn't even know this, man. That sucks. Well, learn to relive, damn it. So anyway, right now, pick up a new trade. They said. Right? What I was saying is, I was talking about Miss Winston, my great grandmother Bettina Lee, Miss Winston, elementary, whooping me, telling all the kids, we're Indian, because they were trying to push that black, because that was during the time, you know, and the Black Power movement and all that other nonsense. And how I was still talking about it, even though I got, you know, my butt tore out the frame in the closet room, you know. And the fact on Elm Street, and Walnut Street is up around the corner. My uncle stayed, and Miss Winston stayed on Elm, and my Mama Tina stepped to her like, and yes, that's the Elm Street. We made Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes, the first two. And I was just very aware that Miss, whatever her friggin' name is, Jacqueline, whatever her name was in Sunday school, was teaching us and reading, because we did Genesis for like, I don't know, like 3 to 6 months. Like it was. And I recall, I know my brother recalls when she was reading Ham, the progenitor, the Egyptians, the Cushites, right? The dark races, but not the Negro. It was there, plain, you could read it. Now we see what the AI overview was saying, right? Like nothing ever existed. The Mandela effect, thank you, if that's what it is. I can't recall, but appreciate that. We're dealing with that now. I actually had on the res, I had the Sinbad movie, like I used to sell them in New York, you know, the $5 joints. I had the original. I'm like, are y'all freaking crazy? Yeah, it ain't never had that. I'm like, here's the cover. Oh snap! It's a psyop. They need to know how dumb they've made you. You know, like every time you go and get blood work, them damn doctors don't give a damn. That blood's getting frozen and sent off, and they're checking it for all the toxins and poisons they put in it. Okay, it's not a good thing. But I'm not here to talk about whether it's good or bad. I'm here to talk about, you know, the how, when, and why. You know, like it's for our land, our identity, so they can usher in something dark. How did they do it? Well, we had to be betrayed by our own. There was no other way. I've read a number of stories where the men were get armed up and ready to go fight. And it said the dociling time, you know, the fluoridation in the water. And they put the guns down and people still got lynched. And I mean, all our governments that were hijacked. Y'all literally know I got a book based on that. And how you come from Africa and be the government officials of these fictional states? You know, it's funny how they are so bloodlust, and they think everything they're doing is normal, that it's okay. And grace be upon those who have walked away from that and they're willing to be honest. I can't even feel sad for what's coming for these individuals. I cannot. The Khazarian or those families of the families I read from Yafet and what they've done, because they was always around us. What they have done, as great as it is, there's no action that does not require or have an action that will come forth from it, no matter its time. Last night I didn't dream. I had 2.5 years, right? My knee was sore, a little swollen, so I got the little ice thing I got in there frozen. I put it on it for a little bit. My back was a little tight, you know, so I laid flat. And I was like, oh, I'm tired. I went to sleep. I don't remember anything. I dreamt. I know I've been saying I want to stop dreaming. I've been doing it for so long. The dreams I've had that have been so many, the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. Oh, friggin' over, bro. I don't know how I didn't check myself into a psych ward. I didn't have it last night or the night before. I didn't get drunk. I don't like that. I eat. Mild cramp in my Achilles. Well, not my on the side, not my Achilles, or my shin, excuse me. Like mild. Just walked it out. And they need not have any of us, anyone, as a collective. I know that sounds Romulan or the Borg. We are the Borg. We are the collective. No, not like that. Somebody hit me up. Yo, Red, how'd you find out when the brothers were standing around the fire drums, they were passing kikes? I says, come on, man. Mama Tina was part of that. She did. Most of our people didn't migrate up well, the fake north because they really needed to work. They migrated because they played a role in something else. They worked. She worked for them Jews. She couldn't stand them. Spit in their cups, farted them. She couldn't stand them. Mama Tina was a big-handed, lay you on your back, like powerful Anakia in German, like jack you up, man. Like it wasn't nothing. I'm saying, I mean, one time she picked my shirt, picked me up. I wasn't that little either. And I was sitting there going, looking at this woman like, what? I was talking too much smack. But not to her. She like, we ain't having that. And I'm looking at her face. She got me gimmed up with my big butterfly collar. I'm sitting there about choking, eyes popping out, my eye bigger hip. And she said to count like this, baby, we're not having that. Oh, okay, mama. She put me down. This is slower. She picked me up. I said, that's different shit. That's some different stuff. I didn't know that we would last like that. Not these people on steroids and everything else. The most powerful person, nose bleeding, capillaries busting everywhere because they pumped up on all that crap. All right. A lot of people on steroids ain't that strong either. But regardless. Now look at who betrayed us. It's the black church. It's the black congressional people, whether they are ours or not. And now you see it. You have a lot of melanated people who have come to our land over the last 3 decades, and they have really, really been doing a number and attempting to assimilate, but being very disrespectful by doing very cowardly, disastrous things, further putting us in a sump that we don't belong to. You have a lot of ignorant individuals who have went to Africa. And I remember we made Liberia. We made like 4 of those places. We literally, other than the fact that flag went to the most downtrodden people. And what government does that? The ones that don't care about the original people and the POWs and the people who stopped fighting. And no treaty was ever obligated. Our treaties were never held up and then given to a fictional construct of individuals. I told you my great-grandmother worked in one of those Indian training schools. She sure did. And if they got it on records, they know what I'm talking about. Had to show them how to be like us some kind of way. We didn't jump around jingly dancing with damn Copenhagen legs of aluminum. We didn't do that. That's not how we did it. We had seashells, we had ceremonies, we had long houses and wigwams for ceremonies. We lived in house buildings. We lived in great castles by the definition. Chiseled, poured, wrought iron that didn't rust. All that's a thing of the past because our history has become a thing of the past. Yet our greatness is still here. The Black Scots and the Black Irish and the people have always been there. We have been a voice to bring them up out of there. Speak up. They're not from Africa either. Those are our kinfolk, our relatives. Did it do it again? Oh, okay. Don't be doing it. Those are our relatives. When I was in England, I met melanated people, a little lighter, who have always been there. And they didn't like what was going on, but they didn't say a lot. Fear tactics is bad. When there's a history still passed down about we don't say certain things. Well, we have been that outlet for them to speak up. We're not talking about all those Arabs and Africans that went over there. They, you know, Yafet has always dwelled around us, and Shem in our tents as well. Family. How do you think we were betrayed? It had to be one factor group who was able to see a certain group within a group and use them to manipulate. Death, destruction, so-called work, an illusion, to flood all our cities and towns, to blow them up. What Palestinian want to build a great world and then destroy it? Native Americans didn't build it. Everybody played a part in Tartary, yet we were the actual remnant that still held on to the long fight. And they took all that history and to disseminate it different, to break it up and change it. Well, we already know, every record, every picture, every portrait, statues, everything changed. Who would have to do that? And then all the other people didn't know nothing about it. I've been talking about Tartary since like I said, since I was 8 years old, getting whoopings. 6, 7. Update, I think it was the last time. But yeah, sitting up in the library with all these big books that nobody read, with dust on them. I don't know what Montclair Public Library was a beautiful place. Reading all about Tartary. A place where I could be away from everybody who didn't know what I know, and I could just find whatever I wanted and draw and read poetry, and look at karate magazines, watch the videos, the little film reels of Bruce Lee training, in the little quiet room. They come and set it up and show you how to feed it in. And if you have a problem, you hit the little buzzer and they come in and they fix it. And you sit there and you watch Bruce Lee, Here we are with a world so lost because we fell so hard and so far. This conversation is so timely. I'm personally tracing my family genealogy in Hoko Chickasaw. Oh, okay. I'm Chickasaw of the Choctaw. Yeah. Lily Footen and James Henry Wooten on that fake Trail of Tears to Oklahoma, the city of Mississippi. And most of my family's from the Bayou and the Carolinas, but all the way down the coast of yes, go all the way down there, running around with new ideologies. But yeah. Hey, Tom, also 773, OMAC. Anybody else in here? Righteous 95, Mandela appreciate Asa Lee, Diary Revolutionary. What's happening? Verse 48, Sally Maxine and me are related. Oh, you serious? It's what it is. It's still relative, regardless. I hear you. Cynthia Alfie, I don't know what that name means, but yeah. Trisha Griffith, lead paint makes it impossible for them to see through the walls. Hey, what's up, Rojo? What's happening? Now they attack each other. It says the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing. Yeah, like Tupac said in that joint. Yeah. Sadly, Absolutely. The Cosmic Nine. What's going on? What's up, man? Trisha, shutting everybody out. Tommy Shelby. Your man, Bum the Clot. I appreciate everybody being here. Yeah. Chokma. Chokma. Chickasaw? You speak Chickasaw? Because I actually do. I'm working on my German too, getting that back. Absolutely. I fall all the time, bro. A horse picture of the Irish Queen. Yeah, oh, real stuff. So, all right. Awesome. So, well, that's what's up. All right, beloved. we'll sit and we'll throw it down a little bit. And the Chickasaw speak is not what the last so-called 8 years ago Chickasaw person that passed away are this bull crap. I speak different. It's different. I just listen and be like, what Chickasaw is that? That's not what I learned from Mama Tina and everybody. Because Mama Tina, she spoke quite a few languages. When she started getting dementia, like she was part of the first case from 77 to 80s, because dementia never existed. When it started hit her, I think she was in her 80s. That's the church was cooking all her food with aluminum, excuse me. And I knew it, and all the other stuff, the water, she drank tap water like it was religious because she still believed they couldn't mess with the water. And she started only person she remembered from her daughter, my grandmother, and my brother, she remembered me. I remember when I got back from the Navy, they flew me, they carted me off of the Nimitz, flew me home. All right. Took me down to the place where she's at in Newark. And I remember it was African women. I remember I got up in their faces. If anything happens to her, I'm coming back and I'm finding each and every one of you. They were so scared. They wouldn't even come out and walk the halls. And I walked in the room with the family around Mama Tina, my great grandmother. She was in her 90s. I think she was 94. She saw me and her face lit up like a Christmas tree. Jimmy. She remembered, and everybody standing around like, what? This nigga been out at sea on a world cruise, and she remembers this mother. Oh, kissed her forehead, put my head to her head, hugged her. And I was all swole, out there working like I'm retarded. And then went back to sea, and the next time they carted me off, burying my father and burying her. Yeah. But like I said, we've been betrayed by our own. I always thought that our people were never this dumb. And I've been wrong. I've been wrong many times, which is all right. That's how you learn. And the world contrived of so many lies, and you don't have to be a vessel or a vestige for it. All the greatness. And here we are, caught in between the worst of both worlds. These so-called boomers who are controlling everything, and this youth, not all, but majority, conflicted and confused, and seeking all the false pleasures, and wearing things that reveal too much, and we're supposed to fix it. I know how it ends, but I just have, I don't want to give it a lot of energy. I just have my doubts because something stung me or bit me. What the hell? Did you do that? Oh, B. I just wanted to address that. We could actually do a podcast of some sort and actually have a long conversation where we can actually all chip in information and respectfully and responsibly where it may be beneficial. You got any good Choctaw Chickasaw language resources? Actually, I never really used any of that. I just dip in here as much as I can to recall things. I look at things and go, oh wait, what's the word for that? 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 I think Rosetta Stone was one that most people are dragging, I think. If I remember right, let me see if they got it on here. I know like I remember I was looking for the word for earth, and I think it was Yaki 7, and I think for dirt for earth was Yaki 7, and for dirt was Yaki. I can't remember offhand, but I was looking and it was hard to find it. And I remember my great grandmother used to say it in a way that was like under breath. It's like tones. And 7 wasn't what we think it is. And I remember her saying, "Go outside, get the switch, walk your butt on the Yaki 7." And I was, what is that? The earth, dirt. I was like, well, okay. But she was Anaquia, the Cherokee, whatever you want, that word, that crazy word. But she knew who she was. And obviously, our history, great swimmers and many languages. And look at us now with the education system and what it did. You want to learn Spanish? You want to learn, it wasn't even Chinese. Now all the kids in New York speaking Chinese. I mean, what's really going on, right? But it's Yakni or Tali or whatever. It's been a long time since I used the language, but that's not gonna work right there. What's dragon? Let me see if dragon. Oh no. All right, so they have Dragon, naturally speaking, directly software on sale, Chickasaw language thing. And which one would I advise people to use? I don't know about the classes or the dictionary. It doesn't have everything, but as far as learning, Dragon, I would think probably be the closest, maybe. But Chickasaw TV is going to be dealing with the Mongolians and the Pelskins, who are assumed our identity as if it's supposed to be meaningful. But what's funny is, like, I had an argument with a bunch of ignorant fake Yamasee people, saying the Yamasee was a nation, with Creek, Seminole, Chickasaw, Choctaw, whatever, and they was the one to argue with it. And I guess they found out, and they were like, oh, they got quiet, the egos and all the false, bravado, machismo bullcrap, with these very effeminate men that I used to chat with, and we used to follow each other, and I realized they were just full of it. But so you can go to Chickasaw TV. YouTube has some, but that's not how it's said. The language is not that way. And I've had individuals say, "Oh, you just know another variable of Chickasaw." But that ain't even Choctaw. Y'all both saying some old crazy. And I used to tell them, y'all saying some old crazy ass language. And they used to get upset, but there wasn't nobody disputing it. They get all nasty and everything. I used to be like, whatever, man. Y'all speak that language you're speaking and whatever. That's the New World Order crap. So I would say go as far as, Dragon software. Rosetta Stone, you can compare them if you want. Or you can go and see if you can pull up anything in Black, Chickasaw, or Choctaw archives and see if you can pull a video of our people speaking the language. You used to have a couple of them. I haven't had the need to look for it since I was on the Reds to show people. And if it still exists, see for yourself. Does it end with only a remnant? You got any good? There's a fly in my mouth. What the fuck? Was that a gnat? Damn, went right in I'm throwing stuff in my mouth again. These damn little things. Anyway, and like I just said, try Rosetta, try Dragon, try go to Chickasaw TV, Choctaw. YouTube has a bunch of, if you want to learn that. But like I said, there are videos where our people speaking it, and they do their best to destroy and hide all that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. They've done a grand job at destroying our history and giving it to the people it never belonged to. What was that? Patrice is related to who? Hey, no problem. Views related to Maxine as well. Waters, Pass, and Griffin Grill, all the same clan. Okay. Okay. All right. Wow. That's pretty well. But like I stated, you know, I'm gonna get ready to get off of here because I'm gonna I gotta eat something and get out here and get this closed in and start weather sealing it and get the back on, get this part on. I gotta lift that side a little bit. I gotta put a couple more screws, pull things up. But and then throw away some more stuff, and then yeah. Oh yeah, we are looking at making a trip down there Friday. Coming back Saturday morning, get you and a couple of the kids, load this thing onto the back of the truck, and we leave. All right. Me and T was talking because we gotta get T employed quickly, and we definitely want to get some work with you and a lot more. It don't matter, night or day. But we're looking. We might get, you know, probably. I might just get a little hotel or a little one bedroom, you know, apartment or something so we can get to work and everything. But then again, like I said, I really want to be in this. I don't want to be ground, but we're kind of in the suburbs of the city, kind of. So, and I will be hitting little travels, you know, like going to places, Jerome, Utah, Judah, or places some places I haven't been to during the winter, and put the truck through its runs, get some new tires and all that. So, all right. So, what was that? That is diabolical. Yeah, absolutely. Patricia Griffin, what do you say? I am, huh? Waters, holidays. Oh yeah. As far as Tom's dog, the family. And the funny thing about it, when you start going through names, you'd be surprised to know that all of y'all are related through some form of marriage or something. So that's why it's good to know those things. You'd be surprised and not at the same time. But let me go put this back on charge, get something to eat, and come out here. And my knee is still a little tight, both of them, but we're gonna get that, and that. Get them nail gun, get them up there, and then I might have to drag that damn ladder out. I got to crawl on top, run a jig, cut off a lot of excess wood, and that's once I get this thing covered in, and then I got to work at closing up all the little holes and stuff like that. So today, and then I can start, if it don't rain, I can start. I got 3 to 4 bags. Hopefully that's enough resin. I might have to get another one. I can start cutting strips, and I'll be live up there. Hopefully don't fall through, and fixing up the shower thing, getting it. It's not operable because I don't have the water tanks. I don't have the hot water. So, you know, I might have to deal with Planet Fitness to hit the showers and stuff. But and get some light workout on, treadmill, walking and stuff. Yeah. So we got our work cut out. You know what I'm saying? And I like this. Y'all know I do like doing like this. There's a lot of sources of references and information, but you got to be careful because AI overview is just crap. It is. It's watching. It's crap. It has been lied to so much. It's programming. And you would think that it would actually have an untouched way of reaching all sources of information, whether hidden. But you got to remember, these people are very good at hiding stuff that might not be digital. All right. In the web. Probably have to listen to them talking. And these people have rooms and stuff they can go to and talk without phones and all that crap. They don't really carry all that because they're aware of what the energy, the frequencies, and everything else that come off of it do. It's like these vehicles, these e-cars, right? They're not like the ones we made, all right, long ago. People didn't believe that. And I was like, yeah, we had electric car. We had all that. Well, I told them we invented the monorail. They said, I'm like, well, who invented the train if it's not for us advancing to create the monorail, which they destroyed most of them, but they're still on the ground in New York and all over the place. Bricked off, concreted over to hide the history. This is what they do. And our people are running around a hogwash to listen to these worthless so-called entertainers, all right, who have sold themselves for whatever. and they're a minority. And you would think that people would rise. I always thought that they would rise above vacation. Everybody has a choice, but it's not the case. So I've got to go on, like I said, get some food in my stomach. I think there's some little thing running around I can't see throwing something into my damn mouth when I'm inhaling, like at the perfect time. I really do. I know it sounds crazy. That's the second time that has happened. Out of nowhere, right into my throat. I'm like, it wasn't a bug. I didn't see on that. Last time I was sitting on my cot, nothing flying around and nothing. And I'm damn near choking, something thrown in my throat. I'm like, what? They just can't help themselves. They're so stupid. But anyway, I'm serious now. I'm not playing. Let me go ahead. Like I said, whip me up some eggs or some canola or something, quinoa or something. And we'll come back out and close this thing off. All right. And they got micro drones too. I've been kind of hearing the rumors about. Like this. Oh, anyway, y'all research the stuff. All right. And you never know what you may find. You know what I mean? Like I said, the world has these individuals that if you speak anything that goes against what they're doing or what they think or believe, now you're the enemy. They're very unaware that they're the enemies of themselves. And I really wish they had the intellect to really interpret and have a deeper understanding of what's being stated. And they don't. And trust me, it's for a good, rational reason. Anyway, I'm gonna hit y'all up here in a little bit, all right? Am I getting a charge? Yeah. Damn, it's down to 004. Yeah, it's only taking in like 4 watt as far as input for, you know, the amp, I guess amperage hours or whatever, like 0004. That's terrible. That would take forever. But anyway, I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen. Y'all know my Cash App if you want to donate. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not. And I'll see you guys here shortly. All right. And the stupid's gonna stupid. Y'all should be grateful they are.